Hi everyone, let's talk about consumer predicate and supplier functional interfaces. So these are predefined functional interface introduced in Java 8. So we'll see what is all about one by one. Okay. So actually we are having four types of predefined functional interface. One is consumer, another is predicate, then supplier and function. In this session, I am going to explain these three: consumer, predicate, supplier, and the functional interface I will take it in another session because the video will be very lengthy. Okay, that's the plan. Okay, let's understand what is this consumer interface. Okay, so this consumer interface, it is taking only one parameter. Okay, and it is not returning any value, so the return type is void. Okay, this is a predefined interface, functional interface. And functional interface means a interface if having only one abstract and public method, then we can say it is a functional interface. We can add a default method and static method, even multiple default and multiple static method we can add, but only one public and abstract method, then you can say it is a functional interface. And what is this functional interface? It is using to implement our lambda expressions. Without functional interface, it is we cannot we cannot write lambda expressions. Okay, and due to this functional interface, we are able to write this functional programming. Before Java 8, right, any function either part of a class or interface, if you wanted to call that function, we'll call by using that class or object of that class of respective function. Okay, so respective class. Okay, wherever the function is there. Okay, so but in Java 8 onwards, a function can be an independent entity. A function can be passed as a parameter. Even a function can be written inside a function. So all these things is possible because of functional interface. So in detail, what is this functional interfaces? If you wanted to understand, I already explained one session. Okay, you can refer my previous video. You can able to understand more on this. Okay, so only here I am going to explain these three predefined functional interface. One is consumer, another is predicate, then supplier. Okay, so this consumer only one having one method, that is accept method. Actually it is consume, it is taking arguments, but it never return anything. The return type is void. Okay, I'll take one example, you will be more clarity. I will take one demo example. Okay, let's understand. Okay, and this predicate, it is returning a boolean value. Predicate means what? It is evaluating, it is evaluating whether it is testing actually, so whether it is true or false. So whenever we are use case is a conditional check. Suppose so some scenario like we wanted to return true or false. Okay, that time we will use predicate. Okay, it is always the return type is boolean, and it is taking only one parameter. Okay, so one method is there only, test. Okay, public abstract method. Okay, so supplier means it is supplying. Okay, it is not taking any argument. Okay, but there is a return type. Okay, so it is returning. It is means it is means it is, you can use anywhere, right? You can use any all context. Okay, where there is no input but an output is expected. Okay, so that is supplier. Let create one example to understand that. What I will do, I will create a class, let's say consumer demo. Okay, I am going to explain this consumer functional interface first. Okay, now to explain that consumer interface, what I will do, I will implement that consumer interface. Okay, okay, this is Java util function package. Okay, if you'll see here, this is introduced in Java 8, and accept method only one method, that is public and abstract. All the method by default public and abstract. Okay, this functional interface annotation, it is indicating that there is no, means there is no multiple abstract and public method, only one. Okay, and there is a default method, and then okay, so this if you are implemented this consumer interface, right? Now to explain, I implemented this. We have to we have to override this accept method, right? So what is this t? T is the type. Okay, what type of data you are going to work? So let's say I'm going to work with integer. Okay, so I put that, and I have to override that accept method, right? It will take one parameter. Let take that parameter and let print this. I will just say print t. It can be anything. This is variable. I'll say n here. Okay, no problem. Okay, so you see what I did. I did not did anything. I just created a class and implemented that consumer. As I implemented that consumer functional interface, I have to override the abstract method, right? Only accept one abstract method. So I have implemented it. So if we'll call this method, if we'll call this method, what you need to do, you need to create the object of this class, then you can call that. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so I will add a main method here, and I will create a object of this class. Okay, I will say new consumer demo, and this object I can pass to this interface reference, right? It is super. I can do that super type. I can do like this, right? Consumer equal to this consumer is the variable name. Okay, why warning? It is type we need to define. Okay, so by using this consumer object, we can call that accept method, right? Let pass 5. You see, if you run it, it is showing print 5, right? So I wanted to use this consumer. I just implemented it and I just call that accept method explicitly, and it is working, right? Instead of doing so, instead of implementing it, why not I will do, let do one thing. I will comment this. Okay, and this consumer object, right, expecting a consumer interface implementation object, right? So that's what we did. So we implemented and we overridden and we provided that concrete method or concrete class object with it. So instead of doing so, if I will not what I will do, I will not implement. Okay, I will remove this. Okay, and I will not override also. I will remove this, and here what I will do, I will create the object of that consumer. I will pass that. How to do that? We can even we can use anonymous class, right? In that I can do what I will do. I will do consumer. You know, we cannot create the object of a interface, right? But here I am not creating object. I am providing here the implementation itself. That's why I can write like this. It is actually anonymous class. Okay. So what I will do, I will override that. I will override that test method. So instead of implementing it and providing the object of that implementer class, here itself, I will remove all this. I will not do that. Okay. Here itself, I pass that object. Okay. And let do so. I will print that. So let pass a different value this time. So what I'm doing, this is also printing, right? This is also printing, right? So this, by using anonymous class, we can do. What is the alternative? We can this selected things we can convert as a lambda expression. Okay. So to convert that lambda expression, so what I will do, already this new consumer on these types and all, everything is already defined in that consumer interface accept method. So I will remove up to this. I will remove. Okay. How to, what is lambda expression, how to build it, you can refer a different session of mine I already explained. For the time being I'm just saying like this. Okay, so you can remove like up to this. Okay, so you see here one curly bracket I'm removing, right? So accordingly I will remove one curly bracket. Let's remove this curly bracket first, and I will remove up to this. And you know this type also not required to mention, and this parenthesis also not required because one parameter. Okay, and this semicolon nothing doing, and I'm removing this. And if you have, and here you need to add one arrow mark, that is lambda symbol. Okay, and this curly bracket nothing doing, right? Let me remove this curly bracket. Like if you have one statement, curly bracket is not required. You see how it is easy. So this is the implementation of that consumer interface. Okay, and we are passing to this consumer reference. So now we can call that accept method by using this consumer, and it will print. Let's do that. It is printing, right? So let's take one more example. Okay, suppose we are having a list of integers. Okay, and I wanted to print it. Okay, let's say I'm having a list. Okay, let's say my list equal to, I'm just initializing this list arrays arrays dot list equal to, sorry, as list equal call, you can initialize. Suppose you are having some list 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, let import this list util, and this is integer, some typo error. Okay, so there is a list, let's say, and I wanted to print, there is a for each loop. Okay, we will use this for each loop to iterate this value, and we will print it. Okay, 1 to 6 will iterate and will print it. So for each this is a value, we can, this is a method. Okay, this is introduced in Java8 also. You can, if we'll call this for each, we will able to print. Okay, so what I will do, I will do my list dot, I will call in this stream API. It is used actually, this for each. Even directly we can call also. What is this for each, how it is working, I already explained in a separate session. So you see, if you see this for each, you can refer that video for more detail. For the timing, you see this for each loop, this for each loop, it is calling, it is expecting a consumer interface implementation, right? So here we'll pass this consumer implementation. So this consumer will pass here. So what it will do, this consumer implementation will pass, and it will take this for each loop, will take one value and will pass this consumer interface, and it will print it. Another value it will pass, and it will print it. Let will not call like this. So here we are passing. So you see, we are able to print, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So instead of passing this variable here, why not will pass directly. So we'll pass directly to here. Okay, we'll make it simple. Let's remove this unused import. You see, there is a list of integer. I wanted to print it. Okay, by using this for each method. So for each expecting this consumer interface. We saw, right? It is expecting a consumer interface. So we can pass this consumer interface object as implementation. So by using this lambda expression, can do this t nothing but a type, right? Anything you can define, right? Any instead of t, we can pass any variable, right? It will work. So this is consumer interface. Okay, let's see. Let's see predicate. Okay, so what is this predicate functional interface? Let's create one predicate. Let's say predicate demo. So this predicate functional interface, predicate means what? It is evaluating, okay, whether it is true or false. Okay, so this predicate, it is returning a boolean value and it is taking one argument. Okay, so let's implement that predicate to understand. Okay, I will implement this predicate, and we'll do similar kind of example to make easy. And I will implement, okay, inside that predicate we are having the test method, right? So if you see predicate having test, this is public abstract, all method inside the interface by default public and abstract. Okay, no need to mention. So the return type is boolean and taking one parameter, and other method is there. This is a default method. Okay, and other default method, even static method also there. Okay, so you see, so but only one abstract method. That's why it is functional interface. We cannot add more because it is predefined. Means I'm saying like it is functional interface, they have annotated. Okay, so what I did, I just implemented it. So let's see what we will do. Actually we'll test something. We will pass a integer value, we'll test whether it is means it is a even number or odd number. Let's do that way. Okay, so what I will do, I'll pass that number. I will check if that number is percentile 2 equal to 0, then it is even, right? So I will say 0, then return true. If it is even, it will return true. If it is odd, else return false. So what we did, we just overridden this, implemented this. Let's call that. What we will do, we will create this. Let add a main method, and let's we'll call this predicate pred equal to new predicate demo. I will create the object of this, and I will call pred dot test, and I will pass, let's say 4. Okay, let's print this. So it is showing warning because of this type. Okay, so what I did, I'm just passing 4. I'm trying to test whether it is even number or odd number. If it is even, it is return true. If it is odd, it will return false. It is returning true, right? If we pass 3, it will return false. Now let's convert these two lambda expressions directly instead of implementing this. So how to convert to this two lambda expressions? Let's take this here. Okay. So now we don't need this return type, method name, all these things we don't need, right? We'll remove this, and the type also not required. We'll remove and we'll add a arrow mark. This is lambda symbol arrow mark. And even we can optimize this code, right? So we can optimize this code, right? We can say this code can be optimized, right? Instead of t dot percentile 2 if else, we can write like this. We can write like this: return t percentile 2 equal to 0. That means in single statement we are returning. If it is t percentile 2, it is equal to 0, then you return true, otherwise it will be false. This statement, instead of writing all this logic, we can optimize like this. So here, instead of writing all this, let's write like this. Okay. And you know, if one statement is there, so curly bracket is not required, right? And even return statement also not required, right? And this parenthesis also not required. So this is the implementation only. Let take this implementation and we'll pass from here, and we'll remove this, and we don't need to override this method. I'm removing this, and implementation also not required. I'm removing this, and you see, so what I did, this predicate reference want this predicate implementation, and this predicate having this test method. So we implemented, I saw, right? So that lambda expressions I'm passing. So instead of calling this spread, right? Now also it will work. You see, it is saying false because we are passing 3. If we pass 5, it will also false. If we pass 4, it is a even number, it is true. Correct? So now let's see another example. Okay, there is a filter method in stream API. Okay, there is a filter method in stream API. So actually stream API I will explain separately. Okay, that is in a separate session. Okay, in scratch level. Now not required, no worries and no need to be panic here. So uh, there is a filter method. Okay, that filter means it will check, actually there is a list. Okay, in that list I wanted to, suppose let's take that same list, whatever list we have taken in the consumer, this list will take. Okay, this list, what it will do, it will check each value, it will check. If it is even number, I wanted to print that. So all even number I wanted to print. Okay, so I wanted to filter it. Okay, I will call the filter method. I will filter only even number. Okay, how to do that, this is the example I'm giving. Okay, let comment this. Okay, so now what I will do, I will call that my list dot stream, and here one filter method. See, that filter method, you see that filter method, it is taking one predicate as the arguments. Okay, so this filter method, it will filter this list whatever we are passing. Okay, what filter it will do, let will pass this predicate object. Okay, it is expecting a predicate, we saw just now, right? This is expecting a predicate object, so this filter method will provide that predicate. So then what we will do, we'll print it by using this for each. We'll print it. For each loop we'll use, we'll print it. So you see, we are able to print, right? Only even number we are printing, right? Because we wrote this, right? Instead of passing this spread, we can pass this logic, right? So this filter, what it is doing, it is taking one value and it's checking whether it is even number or not. If it is even number, you see, don't be confused. Actually, my list stream, it is calling this filter, okay? And this filter, it is filtering, okay? Then it is calling this for each. This for each loop, it is printing, and it is taking this consumer as a parameter. Here, predicate as a parameter. So we are providing the predicate predefined functional interface implementation. Here, consumer functional interface implementation. Here, this for each loop we expecting. So we are passing that, okay? So what it is doing, it is based on the condition, okay? It is returning, it is filtering, okay, based on the condition, and whatever value it is filtering, all this we are having this even list. This list, by using this for each loop, we are printing that. So we are having even number 2, 4, 6. That's what we are able to print this 2, 4, 6. Quite easy, right? So as we pass that, we don't need this. Let's remove this on input. So you see, this is the use of predicate, okay? Now let's understand what is this supplier. Okay, we'll create another class. Let's say supplier demo, and what I will do, I will implement this supplier. Let's this time we'll see this supplier will take arguments. Sorry, it will not take arguments, but it will return something, right? Supply, it will do supply, and will, if you'll see in this supplier, there is a get method, okay? Public after only one method, get method, okay? So what I will do, this supply method, sorry, this supplier functional interface, let print something. It is returning a string, okay? I will say hi Naren Java apply, okay? So now like this, I will add a main method, and I will create this reference. Then let's say supplier equal to new supplier demo. I will create an object of this implementation class, and through this object I will call this get method. Let's add this is string. Sorry, supplier dot get. So we will call this get method. Whatever get method returning, it will print. It is printing, right? So instead of doing so, we can make it is lambda expressions, right? Let make it. How we will make it? We will do like this. Remove this and the method name also. I will add a lambda symbol. Then I will remove this curly bracket because it is single statement, and even return also not required, not required to mention this return. So this is the lambda expression. I can pass like this. So no need to implement. Let's remove this, and I am removing this also. Let's do Naren. You see, it is printing. So this is supplier. Let's take an example. So what we will do? We'll take a list now, a list of string, okay, and we'll have names list, okay. Let list dot of method, we can initialize like this, okay. List dot of, we can say Naren, Kiran, delete. And what I will do, I will check here, if any value is there, then print it. Otherwise, if you find any value, then print it. Otherwise, you print hi Naren, some default message, something like that, okay. So what I will do, I will call this, and I will call this stream, okay. In this stream there is a find any method is there, you see, find any method. So if anything, find any dot, you see, it is, or if it is not find, or else get, you see, if it is finding, it is okay, or if it is not finding, it will call this or else get. If you see, this or else get is expecting a supplier functional interface implementation, it is taking that parameter. So you see, it is taking supplier interface, okay. So here we will pass this supplier, and the supplier, what it will do, it will return whatever value, and whatever value it is returning, I am trying to print it. Let pass inside this. So this time it will find, if any, find any means it is finding Naren. So it will not print anything, it will print on Naren, right. It is finding. If will pass a null, it will not pass anything, then this time it will print this high Naren, because this is the default value we are giving. If will find, then print it, otherwise print this default message, okay. And instead of doing so, we can pass this here, right. Sorry, this lambda expression, this is the implementation, and we no need to write this. See, it is checking, it is not finding anything, so calling this or else get, and this or else get, it is calling this supplier, it is taking as supplier as argument, okay. So in this session we saw what is this consumer and predicate and supplier functional interface, how it is using, okay. If you cannot understand these three interfaces, so it is really tough to understand this stream APIs. So these are the very important feature in Java 8. So this is all about it. If any doubt, so please let me know in a comment, so I will respond. Thank you for watching this video.